Welcome to the city of Trondheim. We are now standing in central Norway, in a city with 180,000 inhabitants, which is the third largest city in Norway.
This is the market square, or Trondheim Torget, central square of Trondheim, and here lies the 18-meter tall statue of Olav Tryggvason, the Viking king who founded Trondheim in the Viking Age, in the year 997 AD. Right next to the square lies the Church of Our Lady. This Lutheran Paris stone church dates from the 12th century and was expanded after the Protestant Reformation. The tower is from 1742 and much of its interiors were restored in the late 19th century. It is the third largest medieval church in Norway. Around 1 kilometer from the center of Trondheim lies the statue of the great Leif Erikson, a hero of the Vikings, son of Eric the Red, and the one that discovered what is now called North America. In the year 1000, he sailed from the Trondheim harbor and he discovered the Americas from that voyage. This statue here was made in the 1960s and it first stood in Seattle. And then it was offered to Norway, to Trondheim, in 1997 to celebrate the 1000th anniversary of the city of Trondheim, and this was where the first discoverer of America left Europe. The Norwegian University of Science and Technology is the largest of the 8 universities in Norway, and it's the leading university of the country in engineering and technology. It was formed in 1996, however its roots date back to 1760. We are now standing at the top of the Kristiansten Festning fortress, which is the most famous fortress here in Trondheim, built in the 17th century. In this fortress, several members of the Norwegian resistance were executed by the Nazis in World War II. It was a very strategic location. From here, the view from the city is beautiful. All landmarks from Trondheim can be seen from here. One of those landmarks in particular is very special. It's the symbol of spirituality in Norway, the northernmost Gothic cathedral in the world. We're talking about Nidaros Cathedral, built from year 1070 to the year 1300. It was first built on top of the grave of the great King Olav that Christianized Norway. King Olav was canonized after he died in exile. He was exiled from Norway in 1028. 2 years later he returned with an army, but was defeated and killed in battle near Trondheim. And that is where he was canonized and became a saint. After the Reformation in 1537, it was taken by the Lutheran Church. Nowadays it's also a museum, and it stands next to the Archbishop Palace Museum, which holds several very important artifacts like the crown regalia, the Resistance Museum, which contains military artifacts from the history of the Vikings up until World War II. It's very worth discovering all those museums, which stand right next to each other at the center of Trondheim. The cathedral is very popular among pilgrims. It has been restored several times, the last of them being in 2001. It is even famous among black metal fans and black metal bands from Norway, as it is featured on the Norwegian black metal band Mayhem album from 1994, De Mysteriis Dom Satana. Around 2.5 kilometers away from Nidaros Cathedral is the Sverre's Body open-air museum. Originally named after Sverre Sigurdsson's castle, this site was a fortification from medieval times by King Sverre of Norway and is now an open-air museum that contains more than 60 buildings from the Trøndelag region. From the top of the ruins of King Sverre's castle there is a great view of the city and of the fjord that lies nearby. From Trondheim's fish market, regularly a boat leaves to make a short journey until an island that's located around a mile from the city of Trondheim. That island is called Munkholmen, which is where we are now. This island has a very long history. Executions used to take place here in the Middle Ages, and several fortresses were built here. But currently the one that stands here is the one that was built in 1658, which is also called Gamla Festning. Also here in this island, some fortifications from World War II can be found, which were built when the Germans occupied the country, which are still well preserved to this day.